Yuichi is a high school student who wants to go on a school trip with his friends. Unfortunately, the trip requires 70,000 yen from each student, making it expensive. Despite this, Yuichi works hard at his part-time job to earn enough money. At school, his friend Makoto tells him that his father could have given him the money, but their classmate Shio scolds Makoto for being condescending. Another friend, Tenchi, calms them all down, and they congratulate Yuichi for his hard work. However, things take a turn for the worse when the 2 million yen collected for the trip is stolen from Shio's locker. She explains to the class that the money was stolen, and the next day she and Makoto stop coming to school. Rumors start to spread that they may have stolen the money. Yuichi receives a letter from Shio asking him to meet her at the school gate at 11 p.m. When he arrives, he finds all of his friends there, and Shio scolds him for being late. She shows him a letter that he sent her, which she thought was a confession letter, but Yuichi realizes that they have been set up. Suddenly, Yuichi is knocked out by a taser and wakes up in a white room with his friends. A person dressed as a mascot enters the room and introduces himself as Manabu-kun from an old late-night anime. He tells them that they will be playing a game with him, and for each game they win, they will get 2 million yen, which will help repay their 20 million yen debt. One of them owns the debt, and they must play to reduce it. If they lose, their individual debt remains. The group has 5 minutes to decide. Shio suggests they don't try to figure out who is in debt, but rather focus on helping whoever it is. Yuichi is still unsure, and Manabu confronts him, asking if he values money over friendship. Recalling his mother's words, Yuichi decides that his friends are more important. The group agrees to play, and Manabu takes them to the first game. In the first game, they must reduce their debt to 0 by answering questions using a large 10 yen coin. The first question is about the northernmost prefecture in Japan, but they get it wrong when the coin moves to no, causing Kakuri-san, the game master, to favor the minority. After 2 wrong answers, Yuichi realizes that there is a traitor among them. Yuichi remembers that Makoto had a bruise and had been trying to get Shio's forgiveness. When Yuichi asks him about it, Makoto agrees to apologize to Shio if Yuichi tells him a secret. The third question was read by Tenji, asking if the English word for Nihon is Japan, but they again answered no and failed the question. Yuichi is the next to read, but when he opens the envelope, he notices there is no question, making him realize he needs to think of a question himself. However, he then notices a small print stating that if the coin moves to yes, he would clear the game, but if it moves to no, the reader's debt would be halved. Yuichi then believed that his friends chose easy answers and gave incorrect answers themselves to halve their debt. He wondered if he should choose yes, but that would only reduce 400 yen from his debt and end the game. He chose yes, but the coin still moved to no. Maria and Yukino realized that Yuichi figured it out and that the fifth question didn't state any conditions for reducing debt and was a yes or no question. Yutori then read the fifth question, asking if they would be friends forever. Tsukino stated that if this was the first question, everyone would have said yes, but they were now doubting each other. Maria got excited that Group C would be eliminated in round 1. Before they were able to vote, Yuichi talked, asking if they all knew what color Shio's underwear was today. There was a rule that if anyone spoke between games, their debt would be doubled. Despite this, Yuichi decided to test the waters and asked the group if they wanted him to reveal the color of Shio's underwear. He knew they wouldn't speak up, as they had all worked hard to halve their debts. Yuichi suspected that someone was trying to shift all the debt onto Yutori, and by speaking up, he had now doubled his own debt, making him the one with the most to pay off. As the game progressed, Yuichi revealed that he had a card that would change the rules and make the penalty go to the person with the least debt. Maria was surprised, but Tsukino suspected that Yuichi was bluffing, even though there was a chance that the others might believe him. She warned Maria that if someone spoke up, it would be a confession that the person had the least debt, making her an easy target for the others. In the end, Yuichi admitted that he was joking and there was no traitor. He wanted to get back to the game and answered yes to the fifth question. But when he made a serious expression, Yukino sensed that it was a final threat and warned everyone to say yes or the traitor would die. The group managed to clear the game, but Yukino noted that Yuichi had paid a price for planting the seed of doubt that one of them was a traitor. Yuichi wonders on how to find the traitor. He asks all what is their current debt, and Tenchi states it should be the same as everyone else's, 3.6 million. They are worried about Yuichi's debt, but he explains it's the same as he managed to cut it in half before doubling it, so it's 3.6 million, which was obviously a bluff. Yuichi states their answers didn't match likely because they are nervous, but wants them to trust each other in the second game. Manabu calls them for the second game, but Yuichi states he needs to tie his shoelace and stays behind for a moment. He doesn't believe they all have the same debt and decides to check their question cards but notices that some of the text starts to disappear. Maria and Yukino note that he realized it, but explain they use special ink that will disappear after a certain amount of time and cover the condition of each question card. they head up to the school's roof. Their Manabu comes out as Manabu-sensei, stating that they are keeping secrets from each other, and today they will be revealing them. Manabu reveals they are being watched by gods, and the second game would be Badmouth Sugoroku, a game where you win by taking your friends to hell. They will be writing secrets on cards. The cards can be empty or contain lies, but if found a lie, they start from the beginning, and the number of spaces they move will be determined by the god's survey. Makoto has a hard time understanding the rules, and Manabu decides to explain them better. They have a room where they can write some dark secret about their friends, then Manabu reads the writing and gives a review of it. Now the person whose secret was written about will move 5 steps in Sugoroki blocks, and all others will move just 1 block forward. To win this game, they need at least 1 person to reach the end, and all other players will receive 1 million debt, which will transfer to the person who stands at the end. The person who reaches the end has to play the 3rd game, while all other players can skip this 3rd game and go home. They can leave their paper blanks, and all can move 1 block forward and win the game together. If they do this, all players must play the 3rd game. The first period starts and all cards are blank. They move 1 space and end on a square, stating those who step on it lose 100,000 yen. The second round again only blanks, but the next square takes 500,000 from them. Manabu then states that all the debt they collect during this game will be given to the one who first reaches the goal. In the 3rd round, one of the cards isn't blank, saying that Shio likes Yuichi, but she used to date Tenchi. The gods then vote for Shio, making her move 5 spaces, while the rest is 1 space each. Shio ends up on a square, losing another 500,000 yen, while the rest on a square that doesn't take or give them anything. Makoto wonders why Yuichi is so calm. As Makoto likes her, he wonders if they mocked him. Tenchi tries to calm Makoto, stating he knows Shio well. Shio then states they are childhood friends with Tenji, due to their fathers being close friends. One day they decided that Shio and Tenchi should marry, and Shio and Tenji pretended to date in front of them until Tenji's father died 2 years ago, and Tenji changed schools. Makoto then states that's a lie, and Manabu confirms that if they had no feelings it would be a lie. Shio confirms they didn't have feelings for each other, but Tenchi states he had and still loves her, which is why he always gets pissed when Makoto's thoughtless attitude toward Shio. Yuichi manages to calm them all down. Yutori approaches Shio, stating that all the boys fall for her, and that eventually Yuichi too will fall for her. In the 4th round, there are 3 non-blank cards. Manabu reads that Makoto took baths with his mother until junior high. Yuichi once didn't bathe for a week, and Shio had plastic surgery. The gods then vote for Shio as 1st, Yuichi as 2nd, and Makoto as 3rd. Makoto doesn't believe the plastic surgery, but Shio wonders if he would still like her if it was true. On the 5th period, there is only 1 submission, but Manabu states it's a doozy. Manabu then reads that Yutori engaged in compensated dating in junior high. Hearing that, Yutori starts to scream and cry, asking Shio why she wrote it, as she was the only one who knew it. Makoto realizes that must mean she sold her body to adult men, and for someone who isn't a virgin, she looks quite innocent. Tenchi gets angry and hits Makoto, telling him to stop talking. Tenchi then asks Yuichi to look after Yutori and keep her company. The gods vote to place Yutori 1st and the rest is 5th, making her move 5 spaces, while the rest move only 1 space each. Manabu reveals the current positions, with Shio leading with 13 spaces and Tenchi being last with 5 spaces. He reminds them that when someone reaches the goal, the game will end, but the goal person will get everyone's debt, which at the moment is 5.5 million yen. Yutori tells Yuichi that she really needed the money, and the bullying she gets now is not even comparable to the one she had in her junior high. No one helped her, and the only thing that stopped the bullying was her giving money to the bullies, which made them be nice to her. As she needed money, she ended up going on a paid date with an adult man. At first, they were only going out to various places and having dinner, but soon he started to want her to cosplay and take pictures of her in various outfits. The man then wanted to touch her, and she agreed but got scared partway and ran away. The gods don't believe her story, but Yutori insists it's true and that she is still pure, and doesn't want Yuichi to abandon her. Yuichi tells Yutori that it doesn't matter if he believes her or not, but no matter her past, he will not leave her. He then whispers something to Yutori, which makes the rest believe it was a love confession. Tsukino states that Yutori wasn't even fazed and forgave him, so he must be aware of his impurity, and something must have happened in his past. Yutori is ready to continue, but wishes to stay close to Yuichi and away from Shio. Tenchi and Shio were discussing Yutori, and Tenchi wonders if Shio knew about Yutori's secrets. Shio confirms that she did, but not everything. Shio recalls how she rescued Yutori from a group of students from another school who were bullying her. However, one of the boys told her that Yutori was involved in compensated dating and wasn't worth protecting. Shio was concerned but promised not to tell anyone. Suddenly, a distorted voice announced that it wanted to see the friends break apart even more. Earlier, during an independent study, Shio collected the money for their class and locked it in her locker. Meanwhile, Makoto was copying homework and refused to disturb Yuichi, who was sleeping. The person with the distorted voice then stole the money from Shio's locker. Yutori noticed a cut under the person's eye but didn't say anything. Tenchi later revealed that he was the one who stole the money and had been secretly watching Shio. He gifted her an anti-theft alarm keychain, which was actually a listening device. Tenchi planned to use the information he had gathered to break all of Shio's relationships with her friends. The friends continued to play the Tomodachi game, trying to figure out who was behind everything. However, they never suspected that Tenchi was the one pulling the strings. This is a psychological story. I know it can be a bit confusing, but I hope I was able to explain it as best as I could. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I'll do my best to answer them. I also wanted to take a moment to thank you for watching this video. Your support means a lot to me, and I'm grateful for every view, like, and comment. As a new channel, I value your feedback and would love to hear your thoughts on this video. Would you like to see the next part of this story, or would you prefer a different story? Let me know in the comments below.